If you're anything like me, snoozing has become a routine. You work from home, no train to catch, and snoozing sets off a chain reaction of unhelpful, draining behaviours. Snacking, scrolling, skipping workouts. And the next day, the cycle continues. And then you feel like you're constantly behind playing catch up. So I decided my next 21-day challenge will be to wake up at 6 a.m. I wanted to see if anything changed when I started to wake up at 6 a.m. Let's see what happens. Waking up early starts the night before. Work ends by 6. 8 hours sleep is just the right amount for me. So to get up at 6 a.m, I have to be asleep by 10 p.m. That means getting ready for bed by 9. 2 hours before bedtime, kept my phone in another room instead of next to my bedside. Between 9 and 9:30 is when we get ready for bed. Completely eliminate the desire to scroll first thing in the morning. Use an alarm clock instead of your phone. I use my watch. I also made a promise to myself, Anise, just do it for 21 days. If it doesn't make a difference, you can go back to your old ways. At least you tried and you completed it. The night before day 1 of the challenge, I took a while to get to sleep. There was a little excitement, but mostly I was concerned I would repeat my past behaviour of sleeping through my alarm. But we're all familiar with that. You hear the alarm go. In that moment, we want the instant gratification of sleep. It's a trick we play on ourselves every day. We believe in that precise moment when we decide to roll over and go back to sleep. Snoozing is only affecting you in that moment in time. It's just 15 minutes, it's just 20 minutes, we tell ourselves. But the reality is that single tiny decision has an outsized effect on your entire day. And if you zoom out, day after day, which eventually dictates our life. Now, to be clear, I'm not into this whole toxic productivity. So if you've only had 3, 4, or even 6 hours sleep, you need more sleep. So I tried this. While drifting off to sleep, I would tell myself what inspires me to wake up early, and I would set the intention, who I want to be. When my alarm goes, I will jump out of bed. Thankfully, my 6 a.m. rise challenge started off well. Yes, I made it before my alarm. Let me show you. Yay! It's one that I thought I could control, and I knew in advance it would trip me up, and yet I walked right into the trap. Sunday morning, I decided to read a Japanese murder mystery book. I couldn't put the book down. It was such a good book. Sunday evening, I thought to myself, get into bed by 8:30, read for an hour, and you'll be good. It's going to be enough. I thought I was strong enough. I thought I had the willpower to put that book down when my eyelids started getting heavy. I was so wrong. I was up past 1 a.m. turning those pages, and then I snoozed the next day. The only way I was going to stick to my 6 a.m. rise the following day, finish work early, and just finish that damn book. Fortunately, I finished the book just in time to close my eyes by 9:30. That's 8.5 hours sleep. Yes, I will easily wake up at 6 a.m. Boy, was I wrong. When you don't sleep enough previous night, it actually catches up with you. I knew this in practice, but I looked this up. It's called sleep debt. It's the gap between how much you need to sleep and how much you actually sleep. Just like debt adds up if you don't pay it back, sleep debt adds up if you don't pay it back with more sleep. If you regularly need 8 hours sleep a night, but tonight you only sleep 7 hours and 30 minutes, and tomorrow night you sleep 7 hours, the night after that you sleep 5 hours, you are in sleep debt of 4 hours and 30 minutes. And you have to pay that back, or you're in trouble. You pay back your sleep debt by getting your regular 8 hours sleep in addition to the 4.5 hours of sleep you owe. But people who say they only need 4 hours sleep are tricking themselves. According to Dr. Thomas Roth, The number of people who can sleep for 5 hours or less without any impairment is exactly 0. You see, the reason you might not feel particularly tired after several nights of poor sleep is you get this surge of cortisol. It's a stress hormone that boosts your alertness, but also wreaks havoc on your immune system and ages you. So this toxic productivity, burning the candles at both ends, just means your body is craving sleep and your mental and your physical performance is declining. I was really curious about, and what I hoped to achieve, was this domino effect. What other areas of my life would be impacted from this new habit of waking up at 6 a.m? Because starting and sticking to certain habits can be contagious. And that's good or bad habits. Charles Duhigg says, small changes or habits that people introduce into their routines that unintentionally carry over into other aspects of their lives, he calls these keystone habits. And particular habits can lead you on to developing other good habits. Like when I did the Quit Social Media Challenge, I started reading more. So I call it the domino effect, where these certain habits make it much easier to spread positive behaviors in other areas of your life. Then something happened. I was feeling good about myself. There were 2 days where I switched off the alarm, hugged my duvet, and started saying things I was grateful for. I was filled with appreciation. I justified telling myself, I'm not going to sleep. I'm just staying here, telling myself gratitudes. I felt like I'd cracked the code, and now I'm waking up before my alarm. And how it's okay for me to lie here for a bit, because... And then I felt myself drifting off. I opened my eyes widely and just looked at my watch. 6:15. The second day in a row I did this, I wrote in my journal, those 15 minutes, they were not worth it. Since having that successful run of waking up at 6 a.m. and how I generally felt better throughout the day, it became crystal clear to me the outsized negative effect that snoozing had throughout my day. I call it the drag effect. You know when you're driving and you stick your head out the window and you feel like that force of air pushing against your face? That's drag. You are moving fast and it causes air to flow against you. Now in sports, where aerodynamics and high speed are crucial to be competitive and win, teams try to reduce drag so they can go faster, because drag slows down the vehicle. For example, the British Olympic team came out of nowhere to dominate the sport, and the coach was obsessed with finding small ways to improve. He called it 1% better. They just looked for tiny tweaks everywhere. Like the back of their sleeves. They redesigned their helmets. They designed revolutionary skin-tight outfits. And they said it all adds up to just 7% better. And the result? They set a new world record which shocked the world of cycling. And this reducing drag in high-speed performance sports can be applied to your day-to-day. Now, once again, I'm not suggesting toxic productivity and you power through and you race through regardless of your health or anything else. That's not what this channel is about. This channel is about growing a community of people driven to live a meaningful, fulfilling and joyful life. Toxic productivity is not part of that. But there are lessons to learn in how to reduce drag in your life, on your inner world. That's so important to create a meaningful, fulfilled life. For example, maintaining states of flow and presence contributes to living a meaningful and fulfilled life. But after snoozing, you feel bad about yourself. And that has a negative domino effect. You procrastinate. You start scrolling. And these negative emotions are like a drag effect on your inner state that's stopping you from living a fulfilled and meaningful life. Doing this 6 a.m. challenge has highlighted to me the importance of being intentional with your actions. Because one seemingly harmless, unconscious action done regularly can suddenly change your life. It's what Darren Hardy calls the compound effect. In his book, The Compound Effect, he shares, if a plane is flying from the west coast of America to New York City, one small percentage change at the beginning of the journey seems insignificant, but if it keeps going, it takes the plane 150 miles off course. So we need to be aware, are your daily actions leading you to become the version of you want to be? Or are they turning into something that will eventually harm you? It might seem harmless now, but fast forward 6 months, 1 year, what will it turn into? And while I'm aware of this theory of compound effect in science, this challenge has heightened my awareness and made me more conscious of my daily decisions. Snoozing didn't happen overnight. It happened once. then twice, then 3 times. And in each moment when we do it, it seems like a small thing in that moment. And those extra minutes in bed seem harmless. But when we track those moments, months later, you've created a monster that now controls your life. With the 6 a.m. rise over, I feel great. Here's what I know for sure. As long as I am in bed every night by 9:30, I know 6 a.m. rise is easy. Most days I wake up 10 or 15 minutes before my alarm. If I slept an hour later, like 10:30, I can still wake up at 6, but then I will take a nap some part during my day to make up for that sleep debt. I love naps. A yummy nap. And I'm happy to say, after 21 days, waking up at 6 a.m. feels easy. And if I allow myself a lie-in, like I do on weekends, I won't set my alarm the day before, and I set the intention, tomorrow you can wake up whenever you want. So I'm not interrupting that new neural pathway I've created. I hope anyway. I'm also sharply aware of those seconds when I switch off the alarm, especially if the thought of snoozing enters my mind. And because that sharpens my awareness, it helps me get out of bed. Oh, and that domino effect that I mentioned earlier, now that I've done the challenge, looking back, it's easy to spot. I've been meaning to increase my workout frequency, but I kept failing. But now I do 5 or 6, so doubled. Now that doesn't seem like much that week. Added up after 3 or 4 months, that's a lot. I've managed to maintain completing my top 3 tasks of the day. Again, in a week that might not seem like much, but what it does translate to, I can create more consistently while working on new projects for a year down the line. This challenge was much harder than the cold shower challenge or the quit social media challenge. I learned completely different things in the cold shower and the quit social media challenge, but knowing what I know now, I do wish I'd completed it sooner. I'm curious, are you going to start the 6 a.m. challenge? Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.